Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ArpeggiBros, the show where we tell you what you need to know about the albums that, hell, we want to talk about. So, our first album we're going to do
is Rush's 1976 epic, 2112.
What an epic that is, for sure. Yeah, this album followed Crest of Steel, their previous album, which actually was essentially a commercial flop.
Yeah.
Critically, it was horrid in the reviews and whatnot. And it actually sent Rush kind of in the doghouse. They thought that they would have fear of being dropped by their record label, but that's where Ray Daniels steps in, who is their manager at the time, and he realizes that Mercury is going to drop Rush, so he walks in and says, "Hey, my boys over at Rush have an amazing album coming out. They got so much stuff written, and it's going to be radio friendly. It's going to get the people going, give them what they want.
Catchy.
Yeah, catchy. Lots of good choruses to just chain along with." And that was total bullshit.
Yeah, totally just made it all up. Turns out Rush hadn't shown him anything that they were working on for the next album at all. I mean, they were still on tour at the time for Crest of Steel when all this was going down. So that might as well transition us into them writing the album.
The album, which they did on tour most of the time, like in the tour buses, the hotels.
Yeah. So despite Ray Daniels' promise of it being more radio friendly, they did just double down on the prog rock aspects. That kind of is what made Crest of Steel so commercially,
shaky.
Shaky,
to say it lightly. But Rush went along and they wrote all this, like we said, in the hotels, blah, 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 and whatnot.
Mostly on acoustic instruments.
Yeah, which actually is why there's so much acoustic in it, because they were almost pressed for time to write this album. Mm-hmm. And how a lot of the lyrical content came about is Neil Peart. He had just previously read the book Anthem by Ayn Rand, and that has themes of dystopian future and
kind of individuality being suppressed by the overall society at large.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a lot of what he translated into.
Yeah, if you read any of the lyrics for 2112, that's the whole deal. Yeah, that's the whole theme.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of can
let's get into the
get
actual
us right
album.
into it. Yeah. You lead us in.
So the album opens with about a 2-minute cover of Piotr Tchaikovsky, definitely pronouncing that wrong, his 1812 overture, which I have no idea if it was actually written in 1812 or not.
But from what I've read, it was.
The album opens with an acoustic cover of that song, guitar only, which kind of sets up the tone, I guess, of the album.
Yeah, for sure. And it has that acoustic tone, and then the whole rest of the song is actually instrumental till the very end, where there's a big, powerful line, which is actually Matthew 5:5 from the Bible. And
the meek shall inherit the earth. Yeah. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Perhaps. So that leads us into
the first actual, full song structured within this mega song.
Yeah, that has lyrics and a verse, chorus, chorus.
We get some plot, actually, in our concept album.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm interested in talking about here, is that the narrative comes in with the Temple of Syrinx.
Yep. Which is essentially a religious group. They're called that song, they keep shouting, "We are the priests of the Temple of Syrinx."
Yeah.
But and essentially it's just like an oligarchy within the society that decides what passes and what people are allowed to partake in and what's culturally acceptable and what isn't.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, they're really not into creativity, and they really shut that down. And that's kind of where that Ayn Rand anthem.
Yeah, the song is very much like people screaming that they're in charge.
Yeah.
The song really gets that idea across.
So that sets this up, and it goes straight into the song Discovery, which is where our protagonist would enter from stage right or left, depending. But he comes along, and he finds this cave, very ambiguous where it's at, what's going on in the cave, anything like that is super ambiguous, but...
Classic concept album.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. They drop you right into the thick of things.
But the important thing is that...
He finds some sort of instrument.
Strange device.
Yeah, or a device with these wires that vibrate and maybe push out sounds.
What could it be?
I don't know what it could be. But he finds it, and he proceeds to show his proficiency in playing it.
Instantly busting out into a just gnarly ass solo.
Yeah.
Immediately upon finding the guitar.
An interesting plot point, but I enjoy
great
it.
For the album, though.
Yeah, exactly. So he finds this guitar, we're just going to say it, and he's like, oh, this thing is so cool. I got to show it to the world, share this creativity I found. And he takes it to none other than the priest of Syrinx. Mm-hmm. That doesn't go so well.
No, it does not. Yeah. Which follows is part 4 of the album.
Yeah, part 4 of 7.
Yeah, which is called...
This is called Presentation.
Presentation, where our unnamed hero brings the guitar to the priest of the Temple of Syrinx, telling everyone how amazing it is and how it'll make everyone's life better. I know it's most unusual to come before you so. And it's beautiful and pure, and then just the priests just fucking tear him a new one.
Yeah,
the rest of the song.
They bash him good. The things along the line of, you don't know what you possess, you're gonna corrupt the world and all like the good in it.
This is also, I guess, where it's technically revealed in the album that music is banned.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. That it's hinted at, I guess, with some of the lines of the Temple of Syrinx, but yeah, this is the explicit moment where they say music is no bueno.
Yeah.
And then they take his guitar and they smash it to smithereens. Sad day.
Sad day.
This proceeds into the dream. The dream is where our protagonist falls into slumber because he is so sad that his instrument got smashed. Once again, plot points may have little minor holes in them, but we're going to ignore that for now. So he falls into a slumber and he dreams of this world where creativity runs free and people are happy and
people just create art and share emotions with each other, and you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, sounds like pretty good place in
my
book.
Kind of unclear on the album if he's dreaming this or if he's actually seeing a real place somehow that exists.
Some astral projection stuff through his dreams.
But either way, the result is the same.
Yeah.
Upon waking.
The result is soliloquy. Which? Soliloquy is when he wakes up from his dream and he's disheartened, to say the least, that this world he dreamt of or was astrally projected into no longer exists. And it kind of sends him into a very deep depression where he ends up taking his life.
It's implied that he takes his life.
Yeah, I think it's definitely.
I mean, it's heavily implied. But there's never a lyric that's and then he killed himself.
Yeah, that's fair. So that leads us into grand finale, a fitting name to say the least, which is another one of these all instrumental, powerful songs. With shredding guitar, beating drums, the whole kit and caboodle. And honestly, it ends in a very similar fashion to the first song, Overture, where at the very end they bring in the one lyric. In this case, they do repeat it 4 or 5 times, so it's not just, and the meek shall inherit the earth. But it's actually, attention, planets of the Solar Federation, we have assumed control.
We have assumed control. And it's kind of left ambiguous as to who does assume control.
Yeah, and the stuff I've read, it's that the Star Federation, who are the guys backing the Temple of Syrinx. They're kind of their muscle men, I guess, is the way to put it.
If we didn't bring them up earlier in the video, it's because they're not really that important to the narrative of the album. They just kind of show up at the end, ex machina.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so it's a lot of speculations with them starting another solar planetary war.
New government.
Yeah, that part is... it's meant to be that way. I'm fully confident, but...
I believe in Neil Peart's own words. He left the end of the album on a real Hitchcock killer.
Yeah, I guess that was the goal there. I don't know.
Yeah, really, a real head scratcher at the end of 2012.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's Rush's second most selling album, right behind
Moving Pictures, which YYZ, Tom Sawyer, is Limelight on that as well?
Yeah, Limelight's
it's tough to beat that catalog of that album.
Yeah, and also in 2112's defense, Rush was in the shitter right before this, and they skyrocketed after this. So,
plus it's pretty difficult to convince listeners to listen to a 21-minute song.
Yeah, and I'm captivated 100% of the way. So yeah, that's the album. Thanks for listening.
We're the ArpeggiBros.
You guys have a good one.